The airplane's wheels touched down on the runway with a soft thud, jolting me awake from a restless nap. I pressed my forehead against the cold airplane window and gazed out at the sprawling city below, its skyline an intricate maze of steel and glass. This was New York City, a place I had only seen in movies and dreamed of visiting one day. Now I was here, ready to start a new chapter of my life. I stepped out of the terminal, my suitcase rattling behind me, and felt an immediate rush of energy. The air was crisp, filled with a mingling sense of pretzels, roasted nuts, and the faint hint of car exhaust. The city was alive, pulsating with the footsteps of countless individuals who each had their own stories, dreams, and challenges. I had moved to New York for work, a coveted opportunity to join an up-and-coming marketing firm in Manhattan. But beyond the job, this city symbolized something much greater: independence, adventure, and the chance to redefine myself. The first few weeks were a whirlwind. My tiny apartment in Brooklyn was a far cry from the spacious home I'd grown up in, but I found charm in its exposed brick walls and the hum of life just outside the window. The subway, initially a confusing web of colors and numbers, quickly became my trusted mode of transport. And while the crowds and noise were overwhelming at times, they also made me feel like a part of something much bigger than myself. Every day after work, I ventured out to explore the city. I wandered through Central Park, marveling at how such a vast expanse of greenery could exist amidst the chaos of skyscrapers. I strolled down Fifth Avenue, peering into glittering shop windows that showcased unattainable luxuries. I stood in Times Square, awestruck by the kaleidoscope of lights and advertisements that turned night into day. But New York wasn't just about the sights. It was the people that gave the city its soul. There was Maria, the elderly woman who ran the corner bodega and always greeted me with a warm smile and a fresh cup of coffee. There was Liam, the struggling artist who lived in the apartment next door and often filled the hallway with the soothing strains of his violin. And there was Sam, a fellow newcomer I met at a networking event, who quickly became my first true friend in the city. One particularly memorable evening, Sam and I decided to take a ferry ride to Staten Island just to see the Statue of Liberty up close. As the ferry glided across the water, the city's skyline lit up behind us, and the iconic statue stood tall and proud in the distance. It was a moment of pure magic, one that reminded me why people from all over the world flocked to this city with dreams in their hearts. But it wasn't all sunshine and magic. New York tested me in ways I hadn't anticipated. The long hours at work often left me drained, and the city's relentless pace sometimes made me feel like I was running just to stand still. I missed my family and friends back home, and there were nights when the loneliness crept in, amplified by the city's deafening silence after dark. One particularly tough day, I found myself standing on the Brooklyn Bridge, watching the sun dip below the horizon. The city seemed to exhale with me, its lights flickering on one by one. In that moment, I realized something profound. New York wasn't just a city, it was a living, breathing entity. It could be harsh and unrelenting, but it also had a way of teaching resilience, of forcing you to find strength within yourself. months turned into a year, and I began to feel like a true New Yorker. I learned to navigate the subway without consulting a map, to hail a cab with a confident wave, and to savor a hot dog from a street vendor without worrying about the calories. I attended Broadway shows, tried foods from around the world, and even joined a local book club where I met people who shared my love for storytelling. One day, while walking through the city, I stumbled upon a small bookstore tucked away in a quiet alley. Inside, I found a collection of handwritten notes left by visitors, messages of hope, love, and dreams. I added my own note to the pile. To whoever reads this, never stop chasing your dreams. New York is tough, but it's worth it. As I closed the book and stepped back into the bustling street, I felt a sense of belonging. New York had challenged me, shaped me, and ultimately, it had become a part of me. This city, with all its chaos and beauty, had given me more than I could have ever imagined. It taught me that dreams don't come easy, but when you embrace the journey, you find something even more valuable: yourself.